Let us see constructors. Yesterday, briefly, I introduced you. I told you about constructor during creation of objects.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. It's all similar to class name, right? Constructor.
yeah, exactly. So today we'll see more in details about these constructors. Okay.
Yeah,
So first of all, what is a constructor? It is similar to a method. It is similar to a method.
method.
But if you look at a method will
Mm.
have parameters. Within the parentheses, you'll have parameters, and you'll also have return type for every method. Yesterday we discussed about this return type also, void, int, float, like this.
Yeah, yeah. Void.
Yeah. So if a method returns a value to the place where it is called, then we'll specify its return type as whatever type it is returning, whatever type of value it is returning, that data type you'll mention as a return type for that method, right?
Okay.
uh, if you look at a method, it'll have return type, uh, it'll have a method name, and it'll have some parameters. So
Okay, sir.
functionally, methods are similar to constructors, or constructors. You can say constructor is similar to a method functionally, but
Okay.
it has a special purpose, and it has some one unique feature. The method name, if the method name is given as same as that of the class name, then we call it as a constructor. Or you can say, in other words, constructor is a special method
Yeah.
which has same name as that of a class name, and it is used for I'm getting some disturbance.
Like sound disturbance, sir?
Yeah, some buzz sound is coming. Now it is okay.
No idea. I'm not doing anything. Yes. No one is here also.
Do one thing. You better mute your audio, and whenever you have something to ask, you can
Okay.
on your unmute your audio and you can talk to me. That will be better. Okay. So a constructor is a special kind of method which has same name as that of a class name, and its purpose is to initialize the instance variables of a class. So what is a constructor? It is a special method so that is the definition of a constructor, a special method. So what is a constructor means? A constructor is a special method which has same name as that of the class name and is used to initialize the instance variables of the class. So what do you mean by initialization of instance variables? So in yesterday's program we have created two instance variables, right? One is integer, the other one is string. Yes or no? So what happens is, when you don't initialize any values, that means if you don't give any values to these instance variables, what will be the value of those instance variables? Because we have initialized in yesterday's program with some values, then there is no problem for us. But if you don't initialize, what happens? So let us see with an example program by creating two instance variables, or let us take yesterday's program itself and modify it a little bit so that we'll understand the actual meaning of the constructor. So this is yesterday's program we have written. We have created two classes. One is test and the other one is student details. So let me copy this program into another file. So because now I changed this class name to test. Why? Because already we have created a class with name test, right, in another file. So there will be a conflict between these two classes because they are in the same directory. So let us not create such ambiguity or conflict. So let me change this name to constructor, the class name. Okay. So because this constructor class is having this main method, we need to save this file with name as constructor.java. And I'll change this student class name also to student details. So I'll save it now as constructor.java. Okay. So now we have created a new file constructor.java which contains two classes. First one is student details, second one is constructor, and constructor is having the main method. So let me remove these two methods. We don't require these two methods because we are discussing about constructors now. So let us not use these two methods, read and write, or we'll use one method, display method. So let them be there. Let us not remove them. Let it be there. Let us change the code inside this main method. So I want to create an object for this class now, student details. I'm giving the object name as SD. SD, why I'm taking is it is a naming convention in Java. When you create an object for class name, if that class name is having single word, then we'll take the first letter of the class and create an object with small letter with that letter. If it is having multiple words, then we'll take the first letter of each word. So from student S and from details D, we'll create that object within small letters. Okay. Then this is the constructor. This is the constructor. Okay. So now I'll try to directly print I'll directly print the name of the student, sorry, roll number of the student and branch of the student. So the object name dot roll number and object name dot branch, because we are accessing these instance variable values outside the class, so we require an object to access them, so directly I'm calling them. So let us see what will be the output of this program. Will this be executed? I'm not making any call to the read method or display method. If I call the read method, then the value of roll number and branch will be assigned to whatever parameters we pass to this read method. But I'm not making a call to the read method, right? So if I don't make a call to the read method, this read method will not be executed, and as a result, the instance variable roll number will not be assigned with any value, and similarly the branch instance variable also will not be assigned any value. But even though they are not assigned any value, so what will happen if we try to access them directly in our program by using the object? So the class name is constructor.java, right? The file name. So I'm compiling it now. So I don't have any errors. So look at the output. The roll number value is displayed as 0, and the branch value is displayed as null value. Why this is happening? So if you don't assign any value to the instance variables by using a method, what will happen is every class that we define in our program, why you are getting this 0 and null value, that the reason I'm telling you now, because if you take any integer instance variable that is part of your class, that will be definitely initialized with 0, irrespective of how many integer instance variables you create. All of them will be initialized with zeros only. Even if you take a double value, double variable also, it will be initialized with 0 0.0, like that. Any numerical value will be initialized with 0, depending on if it is integer, simple 0 without decimal point. If it is a floating point or double, then it will be 0 0.0. If it is a string value, then string will be assigned with a null value. So who is going to do this? Who is going to give the 0 values, and who is going to give the null values for a string variable? So that we need to know. So that is nothing but the constructor. So when you don't uh, assign any value to the instance variables of a class, what the constructor does is it will automatically initialize all the variables with 0 value. So how the constructor is doing that? Because when you create an object, what you are doing here, you are creating a object name and and giving some memory allocation to that, and after that, what is this you are doing here? You are mentioning the constructor name here, right? So I told you yesterday, just for now you just think of it as a special method which will have same name as that of the class name. So this is a constructor, right? So you are making a call to the constructor of the class by writing this statement here, which is highlighted now here. You are not doing nothing but you are making a call to the constructor method of that class. So what is that constructor method going to do? It is going to initialize all the instance variables in that class to zeros if they are numerical variables, that is integer or float or double, whatever it is. If it is a string variable, then it will be initialized with a null value. Okay, but we didn't define the constructor for the class, right? We didn't define the constructor in our class. But even though we didn't define a constructor for our class, automatically Java will create a constructor for every class that you create in your program, and that constructor is called as the default constructor. If you don't define any constructor on yourself for your class, then automatically Java will create one constructor, and that constructor is called as the default constructor. It will not be visible in your program. It will not be visible to the user, whoever is writing the program, but it will be added during runtime when you run the program. Okay, so how it looks like means it will be like this. So the name of that constructor method will be same as that of the class name. So what is the class name? Student. Okay, So open the parenthesis and close the parenthesis. And because it is a method, it will have a block of statements like this within the braces. And what will be there within the braces is, look at the first instance variable. What is the first instance variable? It is roll, roll number. So this will be allocated with value 0. Then coming to the next instance variable, that is branch. So this will be allocated with a null value like this. Okay. If it is a double value, then if there is a double variable, similarly, say for example d is there, then it will be allocated with a value 0.0 like this, because it is a double value. So in that way, this constructor will be defined, and it will be automatically defined. We need not write this one. Okay. And this is called as the default constructor. This is called as the default constructor. So why it is called as default constructor means, because even though the user is not defining this constructor in his program, automatically the Java runtime environment will create that constructor definition. And when you create the object for the class, that constructor will be automatically invoked with this statement. Right here in this object creation, what is happening? First thing is you are creating a reference variable called SD for the class student of details, and then after that, when the memory is allocated, then it will become object. Okay. And that object will be instantiated by calling the constructor method. Instantiation means what? Initializing all the instance variables of a class. So you are getting disturbance.
Yes, sir. A lot of disturbance.
I am getting from your end also when you speak.
Like yesterday and like first 2 days were good because I used it from the phone.
Oh,
Maybe I don't have earphones, headphones. That's why.
you don't have headphones.
No, sir.
Okay. Will it be possible to get any earphones or anything for tomorrow?
Okay, sir. Just yeah. For tomorrow, I'm gonna get it.
Okay, right. So why? Because if you are using phone, the screen of the phone will be very low, very small in size, right? So if I write a program, it will not be visible completely to you, and even it will be very small. So it will give a more strain for your eyes only. For your convenience only, I'm saying. If you are using a laptop screen, then the screen will be larger. And for me also, if I want to take any control of your system and show you how to do solve a problem
Yeah.
for you on your computer, then it will be easy for me, right? So that's the reason why I asked you to use laptop.
Okay.
When you're using laptop, better use earphones
Okay, sir.
so that you'll not have any disturbance.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
but even though there is disturbance, you are able to hear my voice, right?
Yeah. Like your voice is not like completely like if you are talking,
Then for today,
some of the things are blank.
so then will you switch to the mobile device? I'll give you 2 minutes time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Am I audible and screen is visible?
Perfect, sir. This is
Okay,
perfect.
okay,
Thank you, sir.
right. So let me repeat it once again. You have seen the output for this program, right? So the output of this program is displayed as roll number value is 0 and branch is displayed as null value. Why? Because when you create a class and when you don't define a constructor in that class explicitly, then what happens is the Java runtime system will automatically add a default constructor to the class. It happens for all the classes that you create in your program, not just one class. Every class will be added with a default constructor. Okay, so what is the responsibility of the default constructor is it will initialize the instance variables of a class to 0 if they are numerical variables. Numerical variables in the sense if it is a roll integer data type or a double data type, so these all come under numerical data types, right? So these values will be initialized with 0 value, and if it is a string instance variable, then it will be initialized with a null value. Okay, so the definition of this constructor will look like this. We need not write this. Automatically this will be added during runtime by the run Java runtime system. Okay, so but for your understanding sake, what I am doing is I am defining that constructor in the class, because it looks like that if at all, if you can view that constructor. So the feature of this constructor is it will have the name same as that of the class name, and it will not have any parameters. You can have parameters for the constructor also, but that will not be a default constructor. A default constructor is a constructor which is automatically created for every class, even though the user does not create a constructor of his own for every class. The Java runtime system will create a default constructor, and that default constructor will not have any parameters. But if you are creating your own constructor, then you can have a parameter, and such a constructor is called as a parameterized constructor. So as such, you must understand that constructors are of two types. Constructors are of two types. First one is the default constructor. Second one is parameterized constructor. Okay, so the default constructor is the one which is automatically created for every class.
Sir,
So
I have two doubts. Can I
yeah,
ask you?
yeah.
So for each and every class, there need to be a constructor. So when we created object in the main method, so there is an constructor also created, right? When student details is equals to SD is equals to new student details, whereas student details in the last is a constructor.
Yeah,
That's for the second class. In the top one also class we need to create, or like if we don't create, there will be automatically like predefined constructor will be created in the system.
yeah.
Okay,
You need not write that code for the default constructor. Automatically
okay,
it will be created, but for your understanding, I have written it there.
okay, got it, sir.
Okay,
That's it.
so
Okay,
that if I write it there, then you will understand what happens. It will look like a method only, but a method will have a return type, whereas constructor will not have any return type. Okay,
okay,
so the automatically created constructor is nothing but called as default constructor. Okay,
okay, sir.
and whereas the parameterized constructor, uh, user himself has to create one, and he can pass the parameters, right? So
Okay,
this constructor will have some parameters. So what is the use of this parameterized constructor means, because the default constructor will initialize all the values with zeros, instead of initializing them with zeros, if you want to initialize them with some other values, then you can use parameterized constructor.
Okay.
Okay. So what is this default constructor doing in our program? It is initializing all the numerical variables with zeros and the string variables with null value. But instead
Okay.
of that, if I want to uh, initialize them with some different values, then I can initialize them by passing parameters to this constructor. So in that scenario, I don't require this read method because read method is doing the same. But this will be done by the read method only when you call the read method. But coming to the default constructor, you need not call it. Once you create an object here, automatically the constructor gets called, right? So in this step here, when you are creating an object, what you are doing is, first you are creating a variable of type student details class. This is actually an object, but we can call it as first as a reference variable. And after it is allocated some memory, and after the constructor is called here, a constructor will allocate some value to that instance variables. Then we say the object or the class has been instantiated. The object has been
Okay.
instantiated. So it is a two-step process. So actually object creation will be of two steps like this. Let me show you that. Student details space sd and give a semicolon directly. Then in the next step, you have to write this sd again is equal to the new operator and the constructor you need to call it here. So actually we are supposed to create an object this way. Okay. So the first, it is a two-step process. First step is uh, create a reference
Object.
variable. No, you cannot call it as an object now. You have to call it
Okay.
as a reference variable.
Okay.
You have to call it as a reference variable for the class. It is just a reference variable. It is not allocated with memory yet. When it will be allocated with memory, after
When you give new.
in the next step you are using new operator, right? So in that step you are allocating memory, and after allocating memory, because you are making a call to the student details constructor, default constructor, the default constructor is initializing the instance variables. So this step involves two things. One is allocating memory to the object, and after allocating the memory to the object, in that memory location, the locations for the instance variables are stored with default values zeros and null value for integers and strings respectively. Okay. So this step, what is it called as? Instantiation. Okay.
So
This is,
here
yeah,
SD is equals to new student details.
yeah.
We are creating object here, and the student details is a constructor, right? We cannot create object without a constructor.
No, we cannot create a object without a constructor.
So the student details here is a default constructor or param.
Default constructor. When the parentheses are empty, you must understand that it is a default constructor. If the parentheses are
Okay.
not empty, they also have some values, just like when you call a method, this read method, you have two parameters. You are passing two parameters, right? When you call this
Okay.
read method, in the same way, you can pass parameters within the parentheses of the constructor also. Then it will become a parameterized constructor. So we'll see that also in a short while.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, object creation is a two-step process. In this way, first step is first create a reference variable for that class like this. So the name of the
Yeah.
reference variable is sd here in this case, and in the next
Yeah.
step, instantiate that reference variable. So when you perform this instantiation, then the reference variable will now turn into an object. Now you can call it as an object. So you can call a reference variable as an object only when it is allocated with some memory and initialized with its initial instance variables are initialized with some values. Then only you can say it is an object. Otherwise, you cannot call it as an
Oh,
object. So that's why before this step is written, here I'm calling this SD as a reference variable only. But here after this step, now you can call SD as a object. So just like when you
okay.
have newborn baby, So until he gets he an age of he grows up to an age of 18, we call him as a boy. But once he
Yeah.
crosses 18, then we will call him as a male or a adult, right? So
Yeah.
in the same way, so first you create a reference variable. We'll not call it as an object, but once memory is allocated to that reference variable, and then after that some initial values are allocated to that instance variables of that object, then we call it as a object. Okay. So
Okay.
instead of writing this in two steps, we'll combine it into a single step like this. Okay. So this is a
Yeah.
shortcut. This is a shortcut. Instead of writing this way, first in first step you are writing in a first statement you are simply creating a reference variable, and then in the next step you are instantiating that reference variable so that the reference variable will turn into an object. So that two things can be combined in a single statement like this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So got it.
Okay, now so let me remove this one because we'll be creating the object two times with same name. So you'll get an error for this. So I'm
Okay.
removing it. So now with this, what is going to happen is first the reference variable SD is going to be uh, allocated with memory by the new operator, and then the student details default constructor will be called, and as a result, for SD the reference variable roll number will be allocated assigned with value 0, and for the same SD object the instance variable branch will be assigned with the value null. So this will be automatically done by the default constructor, and the default constructor has a definition like this, but you need not write this. Okay, so I'm removing this one. So this is about default constructor. Now if instead of using a default constructor, if you want to create a parameterized constructor, then the parameterized constructor will remove this read method. So I'll remove this read method. Instead of read method, I'll use the parameterized constructor. So for this one, I'll pass int array comma string. So the parameters that I was passing earlier to read method, I'm passing them to constructor now. So you must define this constructor if you want to use this way. If you don't want to use parameters, then you need not define it. Default constructor will take care of about it. But if you want to assign it with some your own values instead of zeros and null values, you want to give some other values, non-zero value or non-null value, then you can do it using this one. Okay. So here I'm going to use RNO, and here I'm going to use BR.
BR.
But how will you pass these parameters to this constructor? During the creation of object, here itself you have to pass it. So first parameter is what? Integer type. So I'll give
Yeah.
456 like yesterday, and then
Yeah. Comma.
yeah, because it is a string, you have to enclose it in double quotes like this. So now what will happen is when you create this object, the object will be calling the parameterized constructor automatically, and this constructor will be invoked automatically, and it will be passed with that 456 which will be stored in RNO, and Srujan will be stored in, sorry, branch, right?
Branch.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was name. So
Uh,
branch EC will be passed to BR, and then they will be assigned to this instance variables ROL NN. Okay, so this ROLL NO is nothing but the instance variable, whereas RNO is the parameter passed to the constructor, and branch is the instance variable, and BR is the parameter passed to the string. So I'm assigning the value of RNO, which is the parameter received by this constructor, to roll number. So whatever value you pass, that will be assigned to roll number. So what is the value you passed? 456. So that 456 is there in RNO. When you assign RNO, so now roll number will have what? 456. And similarly, you passed for ECE, right, in the constructor when it is called. So that will be stored in BR. So when you assign that BR to branch, so now branch will have what? 456. Okay. So now I need
Okay,
not
sir.
call the display method. I need not call display method. So directly here I'm printing their values by accessing those instance variable names, right? SD dot roll number and SD.
Yeah, yeah.
So earlier when we executed this program, what is the output? Roll number is 0,
Sir.
branch is null. So now when you
Yeah.
let us compile it because we have made changes to the program. Once again, let me compile it and so now look at the output. Roll number is 456 and branch is EC.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is parameterized constructor. But even though you created the parameterized constructor, it doesn't mean that you will not have any default constructor. That default constructor will be there anyhow. That is separate. Okay.
Okay.
So now let me create one more object, second object. I'll rename this first one as SD1, second one as SD2. Instead of giving 4, 5, 6 parameters, I'll give these parameters. So what is the meaning of this one? We are not calling this parameterized constructor. Instead, we are calling the default constructor. Okay. So when I
Okay.
print SD1 dot roll number and SD1 dot branch, it will print 456 and EC as usual. But if I
Okay.
use SD2 dot roll number and SD2 dot branch, then it will print again 0 and null value. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Got
not using SD2 as of now because I made a change to this program. Let me execute it and show once again. So what is the error you are getting? When you defined a
it.
parameterized constructor, the default constructor is not working. You defined a
Okay.
constructor, parameterized constructor, right?
Yeah.
Student details, parameterized constructor. When you are creating a second object, you are using a default constructor. So default constructor.
But you are not calling the default constructor, right, sir?
But when you create the object, you are making a call, right? Automatically, this will be
Okay.
called, right?
Okay.
So if I remove it, then the error will be gone. Now, let me put this in comment and remove this one and use 2 here. So still you are getting error.
Error. Because we didn't call, there's no constructor two in the.
Default const. So you
Yeah.
must understand one point here. Actually, in the previous versions of Java, older versions of Java, like 1. Now we are using 1.8 here. In my system, I'm using 1.8. Before 1.8, during 1.6 and 1.5, the situation was if you create a parameterized constructor, still you will be able to access the default constructor. It will not generate an error for you. Now you are getting
Okay.
an error like this, right? But you will not get any error if you use version 1.5 or prior versions. Okay, so if you
Okay.
are creating an object with a default constructor, then the default constructor will be invoked. If you are creating an object with a parameterized constructor, then parameterized constructor will be invoked, right? But now after the JDK 1.6 and all the newer versions, later versions which came after 1.6 and all, so they are not supporting default constructor if the user himself is creating a parameterized constructor. So default constructor will be available only when you don't create a parameterized constructor of your own in your program. So if you are defining a
Okay, sir.
parameterized constructor, default constructor will not work. If you don't define the parameterized constructor, then the default constructor will work. Okay. So now if I remove
Okay, sir.
this student details parameterized constructor, for example, I'll remove it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not creating. I put this first statement also in comment, right? So now let
Yeah.
us compile this program and see. It will work.
Yeah.
It will give 0 and null because default constructor is used. Okay. So you need to understand 2 points. When you want to create a parameterized constructor, don't try to create an object using default constructor. You have to use parameterized constructor only. When you don't create a parameterized constructor, then you can use default. Okay. So now this is
Okay,
my
sir.
default constructor, parameterized constructor. So I'm not using, and you can even make a default constructor of your own also. That means uh, I can remove this one, these parameters.
Yeah.
Instead of RNO, I can say give some 10 here. Directly, I'll give some 10 value here. Instead of 10, let us write it as 456. Okay. So now let us see. Let us compile the program. And when you run the program, what is the output? 456 and EC. Okay. So what is the difference you observe? If you create a default constructor of your own and assign some value to that, those values will be taken. If you don't define the default constructor and parameterize constructor, then the default constructor will initialize them to 0 and null respectively.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you'll be confusing because there are three different ways. Default constructor will be automatically created. You need not create it. That is one case.
No.
Okay. Second case is default constructor can be created by the user, but instead of using zeros and null values for numerical and string values, we can assign our
We.
own values.
Yeah.
Okay, that is second case. Both are default constructors only, but in the first case, zeros will be automatically assigned to those instance values. In the second case, whatever value we specify in the constructor definition, that will be assigned, right? But in the second case, we need to define the default constructor of our own in the class. First case, we need not do, we need not create. Second case, we need to create. And the third third way is we'll create our own parameterized constructor. Okay, so these constructors will receive parameters, and whatever parameters you are receiving, those parameter values you can assign them to instance variables, as we have done like this. This one will come into picture, this part.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now you understood, right, the concept of constructors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, actually I thought today if you are completely equipped with all the requirements for your program execution on your system. Then I thought of giving some tasks for you, but now uh, because we didn't set up that environment even today, we have to wait for tomorrow.
Sir, we're gonna try it one more time. If you want to try it,
Yeah,
team viewer.
yeah, yeah.